What's your greatest accomplishment that you can't bring up in normal conversation? This was a question on Reddit that blew up a few months ago. 16th down the list, with almost 18,000 points, was a man named Mariowned, who invented the surf maps for Counter-Strike. His story's here, but I also reached out to him to make this video. Back in May 2004, before many of Counter-Strike's current players were even born, Mariowned was playing CS 1.6 when he made a knifing arena called KA Killbox. It was huge, filled with skateboards, machine guns and rooftops. I checked this map out and it brought back many happy memories. I have never played this particular one before, but it's a classic example of custom content from that era, and something you wouldn't see being made today. Half-Life 1 inspired many maps and mods to be developed purely for fun and for a sense of adventure. And a map like this shows it best. It's probably not balanced. It doesn't even matter. I can imagine Mariowned and his friends playing on it 15 years ago, and having a great time as they skated down hills and pointed turrets at one another. It was here, on this rooftop, when climbing one of these to reach a gun, that his friend fell off the side and slid to his death. And from this accident, surfing for Counter-Strike was born. He repeated the mistake over and over again until he could reach a ladder on the adjacent building. He then used that rooftop to create a new map from, based around the concept of surfing. The very first of this type was Surf the Gap. Although early and basic, it established many of the rules that surf maps still follow to this day, including the name of the game mode. Both teams would spawn here and agree not to kill each other until they left the platform. Following a quick slope down, which looks strangely like a rooftop, you'd have to make a long jump to a tiny, far-off platform coated in water to prevent players from sustaining fall damage. Here, they'd find a button that would blow the map up. At the time of making this, Mariowned was 14. He and his friends spent many happy hours on that map, surfing, shooting and blowing each other up. He began to elaborate on the map. Surf the Gap went through several versions. A partition between the teams was sensibly added, and guns were placed at the bottom to encourage players to traverse the map quickly. All the while, the same original roof prefab was used as the basis for the maps, even up to and including the famous Surf Egypt. Though you can see the texture was swapped out for something more fitting each time. This here was his second map, made in July and with a Christmas theme, because why not? As you can see from this timeline, Mariowned didn't hang around. He got to work producing numerous surf maps, and he and his friends worked hard to get the mode played. It was a struggle at first. People didn't understand it, would join the server, fall to their deaths and rage quit. He and his buddy, Arcade, would host servers on the computers, which they'd leave on overnight and while at school. They kept at it, and very slowly the game mode began to build a following. Other maps began being made. Other servers sprung up, many hosting his maps but renamed and with others taking the credit. Some even claimed to have come up with the game mode themselves. Source was released late in 2004 and it too started to gather a surfing community. The game mode had well and truly taken off. Mariowned continued to have success with his own creations. Surf Egypt is now legendary, but other maps of his like the Water Run series and Ninja also became popular. He designed some maps from drawings by his friends, normally done in paint. As his maps grew increasingly elaborate, he ran into problems with the original Counter-Strike engine. Surf City 2 in particular was delayed several times as he kept running out of resources. He had to optimise the map and spent much longer than he had anticipated on it, but eventually he got it out, and it too became a success. Fun fact, all of his maps up to and including Surf City are possible with SV Air Accelerate 10. This was the default setting for the game, and he and his friend didn't discover that upping the value helped with surfing until sometime in 2005, after many of the surf maps had already been made. Higher values let you turn faster in the air and stick to the platforms better. Anybody who's tried both will know how much of a difference this makes. He says that if anybody thinks they're good at surfing, then they should do Egypt on default settings. It's like trying to surf while wearing a £50 vest. Air Accelerate has been in the game for as long as he can remember, but when they finally discovered it, it changed surfing forever and has led to wilder maps and better surfers than he could ever have imagined. Despite all this, he doesn't think he's that good at surfing. He spends more time mapping for it, but enjoys playing with fans and sometimes just sits and watches other people playing on the game mode. One of his biggest regrets is how he took credit for his maps, or rather, how he didn't. He was always very good at featuring the names of the people he worked with, but seldom made his own name known. His signature's on Surf Egypt, but he wouldn't blame you if you never noticed it. It's situated on the end of the first ramp. Not exactly a place you'd be looking if flying through the air at 100 miles an hour in the opposite direction. If you do see it, it still needs some explaining. The surrounding decoration is CJ, being Mario's initials. He got better as he went on, adding his AIM screen name to City and his Steam ID to City 2. But he says one of his biggest regrets was not making his contribution to the game mode more apparent. He urges people to take credit for their own creations, and not to be a Mario. His other regret is not doing more. Despite boasting an impressive list of maps, had he known how big the mode would eventually become, he'd have done more. He didn't realise how big the surfing community was outside of the US, even to this day, and he feels the surfing community in Source and CSGO is bigger than it had ever been in 1.6. But surf isn't just a game mode. This became apparent when he made the Reddit post. He didn't know how many people still cared about it until his post received 1 billion responses and even rekindled his passion for it. Many of the responses he got made him emotional. He can't believe the impact it's had on some people's lives. He's been told by some that it might even have saved them, as a way of coping when they felt at their lowest points. It's been such a crazy journey so far, and he feels like it's only just begun. He truly loves what he does, and has made it his goal to respond to every comment this video gets, within reason. And now he's working on a new version of Surf Egypt for CSGO, but it's had a few changes. It no longer has floating ramps, and many of the surfaces don't even look surfable, but they've all been clipped, and play as you'd expect from a surfing map. It's bigger than ever and sports many Easter eggs and shortcuts that will reward fans for mastering the map. He is streaming the whole thing, from the development of the map through to the playtesting sessions on it that he hosts with his fans. I've linked his stream in this video's description. He is channeling all of his passion and experience into this project. He wants it to be a map that he can be proud of, as something that's beautiful and that can be appreciated even by people from beyond the surfing community. This time, he might even give himself credit for it. Oh, and today is his 30th birthday. Wish him a good one.